Gerry Visca, the founding publisher of Defyeneurs, and this is probably the most exciting morning, afternoon with Angela Kontgen live on the air. Angela is one of the exclusive profiles in the upcoming issue of Defyeneurs, the top 50 relationship marketing tips. Welcome, Angela.
Hi, Gerry.
Angela, I'm so excited to have your energy in this issue. I'm so excited about listeners and readers getting a deeper sense of, of all the great things that you're doing, not only for Defyeneurs, but for so many around you. So I want to kick off with a quote that you share here in your profile. It's one of my favorites, and it starts like this: everyone and everything in your life shows up to teach you something. Tell me a bit about that.
Well, thanks. First of all, Gerry, it's a real pleasure to do this interview with you. I know you've worked, this magazine is an explosion of energy, and it's a great honor to be featured in it. So yeah, that's one of my favorite values, everyone and everything is a teacher. It's really, really helped me a lot throughout my lifetime to really understand every footstep I've taken, everything that's everything that's unfolded in front of me and before me, and allowed me to process it, allowed me to learn. It's just such a beautiful premise to live. Especially when challenges show up in our daily life, and challenges and discomfort and is just part of daily life. And when I learn to see those challenges and the change and things that show up in my daily life as a teacher, it allows me, it empowers me to move through that in a better way, and actually see that all those challenges, all that discomfort is actually what I call a brilliant unfolding. It's part of my life, it's part of my path, it's part of what makes me, thrive in this lifetime. And it's just a really beautiful thing. So, and when I can help others see that as well, that, everything and everyone in their life that shows up is a teacher, it allows me to help them even more, I find.
I love that. Challenge and discomfort, is a brilliant unfolding. I think that's extraordinary. We focus on your profile, Angela, and it's called Keeping It Alive. And one of your fundamental values, which I really absolutely adore, is to help people keep it alive, keep their dreams alive, keep their vision alive. Tell me more about how you're helping people keep it alive.
Well, first of all, I guess the way that also came about was, or one thing I know to be true for my own life is that for many years I chose to kind of put my own dreams and goals aside, and believe that they weren't that important. I always say we were born knowing what our true purpose is. We were born with Superman capes on, and then somewhere along the way we chose to take those off. And so, it's part of keeping it alive for me is the daily work that's required to step back into our biggest life, step back into our dreams and goals with the brief time that we have. So keeping it alive is all about keeping alive our passions, our purpose, our dreams and goals, because I always like to say life is brilliant, but it's oh so brief, and we really don't have all the time in the world to fulfill our dreams. It's not when the mortgage gets paid off or the kids grow up or things like that. Your time to live, really live, is now. And the keeping it alive part for me, Gerry, is about the daily actions, the daily disciplines, practices, habits, or rituals, whatever you want to call that. I frame them mostly under daily habits that keep our goals and dreams alive, the daily habits that support us to build a really strong, energetic foundation that keeps our dreams and goals alive. Anyone can create a goal. Everyone has a dream inside them, and what has those goals and dreams moving forward in life is, the simple daily things that you do to support that, the simple daily things you do to build a foundation that supports that to move forward. So it could be something, a daily meditation practice to keep you centered, mind, body, and spirit, to keep you mentally strong and focused, emotionally aligned, and spiritually connected.
I love that. Your daily work to keep your dreams and your goals alive. That's absolutely fabulous. Angela, you've chosen relationship marketing, specifically an organization, Nerium International, to live your deeper why. Tell me a bit about that.
Well, for me, as I've gotten on in my years, I've done a lot of work on myself as a professional coach and just as a person. I've really come to align more deeply with my values. What are my driving values in life? Health, daily personal growth, helping people. Those are, some of my top three. And what I look for in my life is a means when I align with certain things, whether that's work, whether that's relationships, whatever. I look for areas where that are in alignment with my values. When I was exposed to Nerium International over a year ago, when I found out about them, first of all, I had never been really open to relationship marketing and what that meant. And what I discovered was it's such a great way to create your life on your terms, not on anybody else's terms. And as I said before, I believe life is brilliant and brief, and to live on someone else's terms, to live, to put your dreams aside and build someone else's dreams, life's too short for that. And what I've discovered is that relationship marketing, when done right, and I do believe Nerium is one of the companies that's doing it right, is a brilliant way to create a residual, a leveraged stream of income on the side that supports and underwrites everything that you're passionate about in life. And what I've also come to know is that there's some really extraordinary people that are opening their mind to relationship marketing. Engineers, writers, professionals, people from all walks of life. I've been so impressed by this. And also when you align with the right company, and for me that has now been Nerium International, what was important for me was that this a company was also in alignment with my values. And as I stated, my top two are personal growth and helping other people. And I see this played out with Nerium in actually every aspect of how they conduct themselves, from leadership to how they sell the product, the caliber of the people they attract, how we, help people in this business. It's extraordinary. It's a business about helping people. And business and bestseller Robert Kiyosaki often says, this is probably the most humane way of doing business. When I was in corporate life for many years, 17 years, it was great. I met many great people, but it really wasn't in my heart a business about helping people. And what I've discovered is that with relationship marketing, you really have to help people. You have to be interested in people. You have to help people develop their own goals and dreams. You have to find out what those are, and then you work alongside them to bring that to life. So I hope that explains a bit about why I'm so inspired by relationship marketing.
Yeah, it's extraordinary. I love that. Personal growth, empowerment, business of helping people. Angela, I know a lot of your work has been influenced, or you've been influenced by Marianne Williamson, and you shared a quote on your profile, which I think is amazing, and it goes like this: interpret everyone's behavior as love or a call for love. So taking that into account, how are you nurturing relationships in your life, in all areas of your life, with your loved ones, with your kids, with your team?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a great question, Gerry. The first thing, there's a few different areas that I that can answer that. The first thing, my passion is the daily discipline or the daily habit around, I believe anything in life comes down to, the dailiness of it. And that goes for relationships as well. If I have set an intention or I desire to have a more meaningful connection to my children, for example, if I've stated that as a desire in my, around my visioning and created an affirmation around that, then what brings that to life is the daily rituals around that. So it might be, let's say for my children, relationships with them, it might be letting them know every day that I love them. It might be, some sort of connection with them every day, and that doesn't have to take a long time, but some sort of connection. With my team in Miriam, it might mean, that on a daily basis, I am reaching out to, people on my team and just letting them know that I'm there for them. I'm asking them if there's anything I can do for them, if there's anything that they need, and things like that. So that's what brings in my romantic relationships in life, that just means daily rituals that bring our connection closer, and together. So another aspect that allows me to really, bring my relationships to whole new levels is viewing, that quote from Marianne Williamson that you just stated, interpret everyone's behavior as love or a call for love. When I really contemplate that statement, and not only contemplate it when I live it, it allows me to interpret, to be more compassionate to people, especially challenging people and relationships in my life. So when people are approaching me and, maybe it's a challenging situation, it's a challenging relationship, then if I really live that statement by Marianne Williamson, and it allows me to see this person from an energy of compassion and maybe understand more deeply that these people in that moment are not perhaps acting from love but from fear. And to really understand that and live that, extending compassion for that person in the moment allows me to not put up any barriers in that relationship, and it actually allows me to move something forward in that space, if that makes sense.
Beautiful. I love it. I want to go back to one of the quotes you shared, which is a beautiful quote: life is brilliant and brief. Step in with a sense of urgency. And you've certainly done that with all areas of your life. Just want you to give some of your top tips for people to live the daily habit. What are some of your top tips for living the daily habit?
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, I think it starts with a sense of urgency. That's my favorite quote. Life is brilliant and brief. It really is. It does start with a real awareness that it is brief and it'll be over in a flash. And to me, that's not morbid. It's very, very real. And that's what empowered me to just step forward into my life. And when I really contemplate that, it creates a sense of urgency in me around all areas of my life. Now, the way that statement actually comes to life even more is, again, through the daily habits, rituals, and practices that I cultivate in my life. And that begins right off the bat in the morning with the morning rituals that I have that support me, mind, body, and spirit, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, to take on the day, to take on the brilliance of the day, and to really, step into my life. So for me, when I work with someone, perhaps, for example, on their own daily habits, I like to co-create it with them. I don't like to dictate what that looks like. But there are a few really core habits that I think empower every single individual on the planet. And the moment you get out of bed in the morning, it's with a few minutes of stillness, so that you can go inward where all the answers lie, where you're grounded, where you find your sense of peace and your centering. So even a few moments of stillness in a very busy life gets you back to what matters. So it starts with that. It starts with, moving your gorgeous body every morning, maybe for 10 minutes of stretching, so you just feel more vibrantly alive. And then reading, filling your mind with great, great thoughts. And it doesn't have to be like a whole chapter. It can be 5 to 10 pages, just intentionally filling your mind with great thoughts. And, and again, we can go on to nutrition and things like that. But, I think that kind of answers that question.
It's beautiful. It's extraordinary. Now, Angela, I know you really resonate with the energy of Defyeneurs, the whole essence of everyday people doing extraordinary things. I want to get a sense from you how this issue, specifically this issue, seems to be really inspiring to you. And, what's it going to do for the relationship marketing industry? What potential do you feel that this particular issue has?
Well, that's a really great question. First of all, I so resonate with the energy of Defyeneurs, because one of my favorite quotes, again from Marianne Williamson is, as you let your own light shine, you give others permission to do the same. I believe your time to shine is now. It's not someday. It's not, when you've hit a certain level in life, when you've, reached a certain level of success or income. Your time to shine is now. So I so resonate with the energy of everyday people doing extraordinary things and just stepping into their life. This is the energy of Defyeneurs, and I love that. I think the world needs more of that. I don't think we need these role models that have nothing wrong with that have reached a certain level of success, and we admire these people. But there's also sometimes when we look at these people, maybe we don't resonate with them, or we think maybe that's not something I can achieve. But what I love about Defyeneurs is when we see these everyday people just stepping into their life, wow, that so speaks to our soul, and we can see ourselves even more in these everyday people. And I believe that it's an inspiration that serves the world, and that the world needs now even more than ever. And what I love about this issue of the magazine being all about the area of relationship marketing is all about the everyday person. It gives opportunity to the everyday person. It helps the everyday person step more into their dreams and live and have the possibility of living life on their terms and creating life on their terms. So the two are so beautifully aligned, both Defyeneurs and the energy of relationship marketing. The values of both are so aligned. So that's why I'm so excited about both of these areas of energy coming together.
Love it. Okay, the final question I have for you, Angela. I want you to take a deep breath before you answer this question. And
okay.
It's a legacy question. Your whole profile is all about really, stepping in, and life is brilliant and brief. So I guess, the last question for you would be, what will those closest to you say about you? How did Angela live her life?
Okay, you ask really good questions all the time, Gerry, and this one might bring me to tears. I think at the end of our days, we want to feel that our life mattered, and the way that our life matters is that we touch a few people in our lives, or we make a difference. And I want to feel that I don't have to impact a lot of people, but maybe there's a few people, and there's a few core people, include my children. I want my children to remember me as someone who stepped into their life and really lived it. They didn't hold back, had a sense of urgency for life, and didn't just settle, for status quo. Just like really stepped in. I want my children at my funeral to say, my mother gave me permission to shine, and my mother really, really she really saw me, and she noticed me, and she she saw how amazing I was and how beautiful I was inside and out. And because of that, I really, really felt that I could shine, and I just could step into whatever I wanted. And she just was the energy of that. And so if I'm the example of that for my children, or, you know, a few other people in this world, then that to me is a life well lived.
I love it. Angela Kontgen, Keeping It Alive, page 8 and 9 in Defyeneurs, the most inspiring issue, the top 50 relationship marketing tips. You are a woman that is so loved, and I'm so grateful for your energy in this issue. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Gerry, for creating it. You're incredible.